Hey guys, wanted to do a video tonight and let you guys know I got the TT01 up and going. Did some test passes with it today. It's really not set up to run on 3S, so it's going to be a 2S only car. Um, I was going to try to get it together and get it on the Poorboys board this year, even though it's the last week, but it's just not going to work out. I need to get foam tires for it. I need to get some other gearing for it and stuff like that, and I just can't get that stuff before Saturday or Sunday. It's not anywhere near as fast as I thought it was going to be, even with the stock gearing. So I put a 3300 kV motor in it and a 2S3S ESC that I just had kicking around, and it runs okay. It runs great, and I'll put some footage up at the end of this video of it doing the practice runs. Uh, it runs really good. It's just really slow. And once I got it tracking straight with a little bit of trim, the car actually handled really well. I know right now I couldn't even attempt to put it on 3S with running rubber tires on it. You just can't get any traction. So foam tires, I'll get some for it and we'll see what I can do with it. But the Poor Boys challenge will be over by then, so and that's okay. This has been another really good experience for me going through this, trying to get this thing up and going and put together and figuring out what parts and upgrades from the TT02 would fit it and which ones wouldn't. So it's been a pretty good experience. But one of the other things I wanted to go over tonight and kind of revisit is I've had a lot of guys asking me what transmitter and receiver I'm using. Well, my primary transmitter and receiver is the RC4GS V3 from Radiolink, and I absolutely love that transmitter and receiver. It's got great range. It's got all the features you could ever imagine that you can set up in the transmitter, and it's a great all-around transmitter. So if you're looking to buy your first quality transmitter, get the Radiolink. It's the best for the buck out there. So anyway, what I want to revisit on this is I know I've got a video on it. Not a whole lot of detail. But I'll revisit it now. Like in this car, I run this car, the TT01 I run with my FlySky GT3B transmitter, but I'm not using a GT3B receiver. I'm running this on Express LRS, which is a 2.4 radio link for long range, and it's very, very low latency. And I got into using this RC link when I was flying drones. So it took some work, but I finally was able to get it with one of the developers over at Express LRS. He was key in this. So this is the receiver here. You can see how small it is. And then it just uses this little antenna, this little T antenna up here that I stuck up on the shock tower. Now, where it becomes a little bit more complicated is on the transmitter itself. So let me move the car out of the way and then I'll show you the transmitter. So this is the transmitter and the way I have it set up. And it's kind of, I started looking a while back when I was getting ready to start doing speed runs about finding something that had long range, because I kept watching videos of guys doing speed runs and it seemed like every one of them were crashing because they ran out of radio range. So one of the devs over at Express LRS got with me and he wrote a firmware fork for ELRS to be able to, so what essentially happens is ELRS runs on what they call a CRSF protocol, which is Crossfire. And the only surface transmitter I know out there to this day that can run an ELRS module through a Crossfire protocol is the brand new radio link, that really, really expensive 8-channel or whatever transmitter. That one, I think you can just plug ELRS into it and it'll work. These older radios, it's not that simple. So what essentially happened is, to make the story short, I have a firmware on my module that will auto detect whether the transmitter is putting out a PPM signal, which is what pretty much all surface transmitters put out, or a crossfire signal. So it will auto detect that signal, and then it sets up accordingly so you can run a car, an airplane, a boat, whatever. So there was some work that had to be done here. And so the module itself has to be flashed. And that's the main reason why I haven't done like an in-depth video on this, is because there's a process you have to go through, and you have to know how to use VS Code to actually flash the module. And if you don't know anything about VS Code, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to get this done. So that's kind of why I haven't done like a how-to video or anything on this, because not just anybody can do this. So anyway, so the module will receive and put out either transmission protocol you're using, PPM or CRSF, which is Crossfire. And then what I did on the transmitter to make this work is, there's a wire that runs from the simulator plug on the transmitter, and it goes to the Crossfire pin on the ELRS module. And then the only other two wires that come off of the module are a positive and negative for power. And I power mine with a 1000 milliamp hour light ion pack, so it stays light and small, and I only have to charge this like once a month or even less than that. And what it has enabled me to do is have a long range protocol on this transmitter without having to do a booster or use one of them really super long antennas or anything like that on it. I've actually physically tested this on this out to 2 miles. I haven't physically run the car out to 2 miles because obviously you can't see it 2 miles away. But did a road trip up the road. I kept the car at home and just kept moving the wheels and stuff like that to see. And it never did cut out on me or start to run out of range. So 2 miles is more than I'll ever use in a car. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys and let you guys know, I would do a video on it, on how to do it. But like I said, you really have to know what you're doing in VS Code. I do have a Discord link. And if for some reason you would want to do this on your own, you could get with me if you're on Discord or even join Discord. I can do one-on-one video calls over there, and I can pretty much walk you through it and help you to get it done, because it can be a little bit tricky and overwhelming. So, and that's why I haven't done a video. And the other reason why I haven't done a video on it is the fork of this firmware for Express LRS isn't actually an official Express LRS firmware. So you're kind of at your own risk with using it. So you can't flash from their simple firmware flasher and for the module. You can the receivers, but you can't for the module. And so, and there's some work with that too, because you have to make sure that you flash the right version of firmware on your receiver and stuff too. So anyway, I just wanted to revisit this a little bit and let you guys know why I haven't done a video on it. But I thought you guys might think, some of the newer guys that are joining my YouTube channel and subscribing might think this is kind of neat. And like I says, it can be done. I mean, worst case scenario, you guys buy the modules and receivers, mail them to me, and I'll flash them for you and send them back to you ready to go. So you guys just pay for shipping on the stuff, and I'll do it for you. So anyway, that's enough for tonight. And I'll put some video footage of the TT01 running at the end. I know everybody was kind of waiting to see if I was actually going to get it going or not, and I was finally able to get everything together and get it running. So I'm kind of happy about that. But like I says, until I can get some foam tires and get some grip on the street, it's not going to be a lightning fast car yet anyway. So we will talk to you guys later.